Oh, hi. Um, let me get myself together here. Uh, Good morning. I guess we're here to talk about something. Let me get my act together here. I kind of a little disorganized. Um, do you ever have a late night and you feel like you just can't get it together and you're kind of discombobulated in the morning? Well, sorry. Had one of those nights and I'm really tired and it's really exhausting and you're trying to figure out what to do and how to get focused. And you may have had nights like that where you just have too much to do and you can't get it all together when it's time to get up. And so if you don't get enough sleep, it really affects your body. It affects your mind too. You feel kind of groggy and out of it and you can't think straight and you really aren't alert. You might make really bad decisions. So it's really important to get a good night's sleep, because if I were to just start from that tired state that I was in, I'd be more prone to accidents. My memory would be impaired, and so I wouldn't be able to recall things. I'm certain you've had those moments, sometimes we call them senior moments, where you can't think what it is that just happened or what you need to say or find the right word. But it happens because we're chronically sleep deprived as a nation. I know I find myself sometimes in that situation, and you probably do too, where you're doing so much and you think you've got to do one more thing before you can go to bed. But here's the problem with that. That one more thing might not be effective. You might not be productive in what you're doing. So is it really worth doing that one more thing? Let's talk about it. So as you see, my head was on the desk. I'm kind of out of it. That's kind of how you feel when you don't get enough sleep. And I want to welcome you this morning. And I want to say hi. Hi, Bruce. Hi, Cheryl. Glad you're here with me this morning. I know I've had days where I wake up like that, and I know it's directly related to my lifestyle choices. The choices that I make every day. Do I get enough sleep, or do I put the extra time into those things I need to do? And when you do that, you really shortchange yourself, because when you shortchange your sleep, you shortchange your body's ability to recover from all the day's activities. And there are a lot of things that your body goes through every day. I mean, just the normal day-to-day things that you do, eating and digesting and processing thoughts and processing other things in your body, the toxins that you're exposed to, your body has to work on getting rid of them. To do that without sleeping really gives your body no opportunity to rest and recover. Because at night when you sleep, your body goes through that whole detoxification process. And it's really important, because if you don't detoxify, your body just fills up with toxins, and it can cause chronic illnesses in the long run. In the short run, it can expose you to things like just being more susceptible to picking up bacteria and viruses. So in order for us to really prepare ourselves for the day and prepare ourselves to be the best we can be in the day, we need to have good restorative sleep. Now, it's not just, one system that's affected. It is our entire bodies. So let me go through some of the things that happen in our body when we truly are lacking sleep. So your hormones are affected by a lack of sleep. If you don't give your body about 3 hours of really good sleep, your body can't produce hormones like testosterone, which are really important. That in order for it to build testosterone in your body, you need uninterrupted sleep for about 3 hours. Now, both men and women need testosterone, and of course it'll be in varying amounts. But without the process of building testosterone, your body is affected in not being able to make growth hormone. It helps develop your muscles and your tissues. And so you need this sleep, and you combine it with exercise during waking hours, and that helps your pituitary gland release the right amount of growth hormone. And that's just one thing. Let's look at the other things because they just magnify over time. It's really important that we understand how our body responds to a lack of sleep, and how it will get so much better for you when you give it the restorative sleep you need. One of the other areas that it affects is your cardiovascular health. Now, I know for many of us, we don't think about this in the ways that we should, because sleep actually provides a way to maintain our healthy heart and our blood vessels. And another thing it does is help maintain our blood sugar levels, kind of balance them out. And it also will help keep inflammation down. So if you're an insomniac, you might find that you're at risk for heart attack and stroke. And that's really something critical to think about. Something we need to do every day, and that we put not enough emphasis on, and we could be controlling our risk to cardiovascular problems just by getting a regular sleep cycle. So things like not getting enough sleep can lead to overeating. And then again, if you're tired, you don't feel like exercising. And when you combine these two, they can cause other things. Lack of sleep and lack of exercise can impair the digestive process, can, as I said before, interrupt your hormonal regulation. And all these things can bring about being overweight, because your body's not processing well and your hormones are out of balance. Most likely the hormones leptin and ghrelin, which I talked about on another Facebook Live, when they get out of balance, then your body doesn't know when it's hungry, and it doesn't get the signal for when it's had enough to eat. And so being out of balance, simply because you lack sleep, can put yourself at risk for gaining weight. And then, of course, over time, that can lead to obesity. So getting enough sleep really going to help control those hormones. So there are other things, other body systems that are affected, such as your respiratory system. If you are not getting enough sleep, or you're getting poor quality sleep, meaning your sleep is interrupted, maybe you have apnea, where your breathing pauses while you're sleeping. If this happens repeatedly, then you're actually your body has a lack of oxygen. And this contributes to being more vulnerable to things such as respiratory infections like colds or flu. And so if you already have a respiratory condition, lacking sleep is going to make it worse. So really what you want to do is to find ways that are going to help keep your airways open, going to help your body relax. And so you breathe more deeply, and you have that ability to go into restorative sleep. Now, the other part of this is our immune system. If we don't get right sleep, if we don't help our bodies fight off that bad bacteria, then we're susceptible again to viruses and other diseases. And continually depriving ourselves of sleep will lead to your immune system failing in some ways. It'll stop building those resources it needs to protect ourselves from the attack of foreign invaders. I know for me, when I went through my whole issue with developing fibromyalgia, I also got chronic fatigue syndrome, and that they're directly related because the body is not recovering. My immune system was impaired because fibromyalgia is an autoimmune condition. So my body wasn't responding properly. I wasn't sleeping well. And that long-term effect, lack of sleep, is what they term chronic fatigue. And there are other names for it these days, but I think we generally know it as that. And so what it did is it allowed my body to be more vulnerable to things. And so there were times that I would catch a cold much more easily. I would, thank God, it's been more than a dozen, maybe 15 years that I had gotten the flu. But because my body was so exposed by lack of sleep and all these other conditions piling on it, I got the worst case of flu I ever did during the time that I had fibromyalgia. So it's really important to combine sleep with all the other good practices, healthy eating, regular exercise, keep your body in motion to help your body relax at the end of the day. So that's the whole combination of things. While your body is in motion, it's using that activity to build muscle, get your blood flowing, help things work in the right fashion. And then we ease into sleep, and it helps relax the body, slow the motion, go through the detoxification process, and build our cells while we sleep. But if we're not doing that, I really think what we don't even recognize sometimes is just losing a night's sleep is going to affect our emotions. We may become moody, irritable. Long-term sleep loss can lead to things like depression. It's very difficult for our body to go through sleep deprivation and continue at an optimal rate because we're not building those valuable resources we need to make us feel like whole people, to feel like whole beings. And usually when it affects our bodies, it affects our minds too. So it's going to lead us to suffer from things like poor judgment. We may make bad decisions and lead to other things that we may not even think are a direct cause or directly related to being sleep deprived. So you ask, all right, not getting enough sleep, what do I do? How do I get better sleep? What do I need to build a good sleep hygiene? Well, one of the first things you need to do is make sleep a priority. We shortchange ourselves. We try to do that one more thing, and we think we have to do everything, and we push back our bedtime, and we really think that if we don't get this done, something bad's going to happen. Now, maybe there are cases, maybe once in a while, but it can't be all the time. If you have a job that's pushing you to do more and more, and it's affecting your sleep, and it's pushing you your bedtime back further and further, you really need to reevaluate that. Maybe you're not prioritizing your workload. Not everything can be a priority. One thing can be a priority. That's really what it means, the highest value. And only one thing can be at number one. So when you accomplish number one, call it a night. Don't push your sleep off, because that is equally as important. If you're having trouble with priorities, maybe you need to sit and write them down so you feel better about it. You can look exactly at that list and you can say, this is number one, this is number two, this is number three. And then you'll know when you scratch it off your list, you feel very accomplished, you feel good about yourself. Then you can go to bed and rest and relax and feel like it's a good day, and that will help your mind relax rather than getting to bed thinking, oh, I've got 10 more priorities to do and I'm so agitated my mind won't relax. And that's exactly what happens. We keep ourselves awake by not allowing our minds to relax. So simple things that you need to do is get into a sleep routine. Figure out when you need to go to bed that's optimal for you. Most people would recommend, health practitioners recommend the hours between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. That may not fit into your schedule, but think about it. What it's doing is it's putting it in between the light and dark cycles of the moon and the sun. So we get into those circadian rhythms and our bodies flow naturally like they're supposed to. You go to bed when it's dark and you get up when it becomes light. And that way our bodies are in that cycle, that light and dark cycle. And so if you keep a regular bedtime, even on weekends, your body gets used to that circadian rhythm, and really you process things much more efficiently. Your body gets into a better routine. Good morning, Michael. Hi, Toby. Nice to see you. We're here talking about sleep this morning. It's one of those things that I think we all undervalue, especially in this society. We're a go, go, go kind of society where we think we have to put everything ahead of our sleep quality. And that's unfortunate, because in order to have quality of life, we need to have quality sleep. So if you get in those core hours of sleeping, it allows your body to go through the 4 stages of sleep and do the restorative work that's necessary to maintain good health. Some of the things we do that interfere with sleep is eating too late at night. So if your body is going through the process of digestion while you're trying to sleep, that's a whole lot of work your body is doing. It's a very complex process. And so what we want to do is stop eating maybe about 3 hours before we go to sleep. Now, if you say, hey, I wake up in the middle of the night, I really feel like I need just a little something. Well, don't give your body a whole meal. It's very simple. Take a handful of like cashew nuts or something very small, like that's about 1 ounce of nuts. That's going to give you protein and fat, and it's going to help your body maintain an even blood sugar level. And that's usually why people wake up in the middle of the night. Their blood sugar dips, their body wakes up, because that's what we do when we're supposed to break our fast in the morning, is to, get our blood sugar level back to an even state. So if that's happening in the middle of your night, just take something small, 1 small ounce of cheese, not a big block or not a cheese sandwich, because you don't want your body to have to process all that food while you're sleeping. It's really, really difficult to get good sleep while your body is actively working on a process that it's supposed to be doing during the day. So another thing that we do, and this is very typical in this generation, is we sleep with the television on, or we have night lights, or we take our cell phones or our iPad or some electronic to bed with us. We need to turn those electronics off at minimum 30 minutes before we go to bed. We need our bodies to stop being geared to that light that affects us, that light that hits our eyes. Yes, there are things that we can do to turn off that blue light. We can install apps on our computer, we can put it on our phone or whatever, but our mind is still engaged. And so what we want to do is give the mind time to relax. Turn out the light, turn down the sound, get away from electronics. Give your body time to detoxify from that electronic invasion that we put on our bodies. Sometimes we spend hours and hours in front of electronics and don't think of it, because that's our norm today. Our norm is to be in front of a computer, to have our cell phones with us everywhere we go. But at bedtime, they should be absolutely forbidden from the bedroom. Put your cell phone to charge somewhere else. Maybe you have something that you need it for. Maybe you're on an emergency call. Put it just at a distance from you where it's not close enough to the bed, but you set it so it goes off if you do have an emergency. But it shouldn't be your focus. It shouldn't be right there in your bed or right next to you on your bedside table where you can just pick it up and look at it. Something goes off. I know we all get these notices at all times of the day. Somebody has sent you a message and we grab it and we look at it without thinking. Bedtime is rest time. Bedtime is relaxed time. Sleep is to be restorative. If your mind is always engaged in the electronics or the messaging or whatever it is, your mind is not relaxing. Your body is never getting to that deep sleep part to restore it. So you really need to think about that. You really need to stop engaging at a certain point in the day and say, no more. My sleep is worth it. And that's, again, what I always talk about. Value yourself first. If you put yourself first, it's a sign of self-respect. Respect yourself enough to say, at this point, it's my time. I'm turning off the electronics. Whatever happens, I'll get it in the morning. And that's okay. And there are times, yes, you'll have to break that rule because there are emergencies, but don't make it a regular thing. Make it the exception. Make it the exception that you only do that when absolutely necessary. When you do allow your body to be disrupted by the light or by the electronics or whatever it is, you're really disrupting your melatonin hormone, and that's what helps you sleep. I'm certain you've all seen ads for, add melatonin to help your sleep, sleep better. And yes, you can supplement. That is a natural way to supplement. You want to do something natural rather than going directly to a pill, because if you go to a doctor, the first thing you say is, I'm not getting good sleep, and they're going to write you a prescription. The difference is the prescription is a chemical. Our bodies are not really meant to process chemicals. Yes, there are reasons to take medication. They should not be for chronic conditions. They should be for acute circumstances. And you're going to hear me saying this over and over and over again, because in this society, our first go-to is, let's get a pill for that. Well, let's not. Let's step back. Maybe natural supplementation for melatonin short term, may help you get better sleep. Let's do that. That'll help balance out that cortisol, which is what keeps us going during the day. That cortisol is your stress hormone. But the good stress we're talking about is the ability to get up and do all those things and react quickly and be in the moment. That's what you really want cortisol for, not that late night, burning the midnight oil stress. That's just way too much cortisol late in the day. Your body is meant to have cortisol high in the morning and low in the evening, because as the cortisol dissipates in your body, melatonin should pick up and get your body into relaxation mode. That's what you really want. That's optimal. So let's look at natural supplementation before hitting the pills. So another one of the things that you can do that's really going to help your body get into rest mode is to reduce the temperature in your room. Sometimes, especially now as we're going into the cooler months, we might be tempted to turn the heat up a little bit when it's just a little chilly to, knock that chill off in the bedroom. But really, our bodies optimally work optimally at bedtime at a cooler temperature. You can get in bed and cool and have a blanket to keep your body warm, because your body heat will keep you warm. It'll eventually build up over time. But you don't want your head to be hot. You want it to be cool. You want to be able to have that cool air, maybe anywhere between, let's say below 67 degrees Fahrenheit, because the cooler the temperature, the more your body is going to respond to it. So it's best to keep your sleeping area cool. So some people turn on fans. I don't suggest the fan blowing directly on you, but keeping the room cool, circulating the air is a good thing. So remember those things, that when you want to go to bed, you want to set the stage that you're going to get the best rest. So you have a cool room, you have a dark room, you have a quiet room, no television, no electronics. In order for your mind to relax and rest, turn off the outside interference. If you always have noise going, then that is affecting your brain. You're still hearing it, even if you're asleep. Relax. Turn out the noise, turn off the world, go in deeply to yourself and relax. Because building and maintaining a regular sleep cycle and giving your body a chance to regulate circadian rhythms, get into the back of the light during the daytime, dark during the nighttime, and don't inject. We already do it because it goes to dark in our homes and we flick on the light switches. And that really does affect us. It affects our circadian rhythms. So we need to find a level at which we start dimming those lights, getting into sleep mode. So you may want to have a bedroom light that doesn't have the 100-watt bulb that's burning brightly. We might want to have one at nighttime that's maybe 40 watts. So we go into the room, it's a lower level, and our light, not as much light is getting into our eyes, and it's helping us adjust to that sleep cycle. No TV, no night lights, turn the light off. Quiet, dark, peaceful. That's what we want. We want to sleep peacefully. And so if you get into that, that regular cycle, as I said, it's going to help maintain that rhythm of the circadian rhythm of the dark at night and the light in the morning. And that way you will feel more relaxed. You'll be able to feel more alert during the daytime and more restful at nighttime. So getting the proper amount of rest is one part of the equation. Now, the other side of the equation is that when you wake up, you need to get sunshine. You need to get light, because within the first hour, you need to get that cortisol working properly. You need to wake the brain up. So I suggest go outside for the first 20 or 30 minutes without sunscreen, because the whole point is to get that vitamin D from the sun. And remember, vitamin D is not a vitamin, it's a hormone. So you're building that hormone naturally. And of course, you can take supplementation, natural vitamin D, but the sun is your best choice. And it's there, hopefully, for most of your day. If you can get out in the sun early before the sun really has harsh rays on you, just getting that sunshine on as much bare skin as you can is going to help you. It's going to help you feel more awake, more alive, it builds your production of vitamin D. And I think that's really important. But vitamin D is a whole different discussion we can have for another day. Getting that rest, getting into that cycle of sleeping in the dark, rising with the sunshine, and maintaining that consistently gives you a healthy sleep pattern. It helps reduce stress. It can help you maintain your weight. And it helps control all those processes that go on in your body that are necessary because you need it done. You need those processes that occur during that regenerative sleep cycle. So what I suggest to you is to start naturally. If you're having trouble sleeping now, look at things that are natural. I mentioned melatonin. Make sure you check the quality of melatonin. Now, there are different types and different strengths, and you may want to run by a practitioner. I'm happy to discuss with anybody what they may need for themselves, but there are ways of helping. Things like magnesium. If you're magnesium deficient, you're probably going to have sleep problems. Increasing magnesium or eating magnesium-rich foods such as spinach are going to help with restorative sleep. One of the other benefits from healthy sleep is being able to process things correctly. As you see, sometimes I'm having trouble talking here. I did burn the midnight oil getting this prepared for you. I know my choice was to do this for this today, but I'm not going to do it every day. I'm going to do it once in a while. And I'm suffering from it. I see it. So what will I do? I will rest. I will give my body more fluid. I will make sure I eat magnesium-rich foods. You can have a banana in a smoothie. That will help increase the magnesium. I'm going to make sure that I get sunshine, or at least if I don't have sunshine in the area, I also have a light box. That's something you can do. Early in the morning, have a light box giving your, at least on your face, because that will help your body recognize it's light during the day, and it will increase mood. It will boost your mood to the effect that you'll feel more alert, and you may not be so grumpy because you're actually getting the light you need. Now, again, it's probably best to go out and get sunshine, but today happens to be an overcast day where I'm at. There's not a whole lot of sunshine today, so I'm not going to be able to naturally get my vitamin D in, but I will get my light box and work on that. But another way of doing this is going to be, I'm going to eat well during the day. I will not be on the computer at night. It is going to be a rest day after my regular day that I put in. The electronics are going to go off. And because I feel I'm going to need a boost tonight, naturally, I'm going to use something that I feel very confident in. And for me, it's going to be essential oils. And I'm going to encourage you, if you haven't tried them, they're really great for sleep. Now, I'm not going to go through a whole process of what you can do, which oils to use for what, because that is something that you'll be able to discover for yourself. But I am going to offer you a resource that you can help learn more about what oils do and how important they are to help you if you're having trouble sleeping. And I encourage you to share this resource and this video with others who may have trouble with sleeping, because I know I'm not the only one in my family. My husband sometimes has the same problems, and we go through this cycle depending on what's happening in life. You sleep really well for a while, and then you have a disruptive day. Well, you need to get yourself back in that pattern. So for me tonight, I'm going to get my diffuser. I'm going to put a couple of drops of oil. For me, I'm going to use Serenity. That's a type of oil. It's a blend of oil. It's got things in it that help me relax. And it's so simple. I don't have to do anything. I fill the diffuser, put my few drops of oil in it, run it overnight. It helps me relax naturally and sleep more efficiently. Now, one of the practices that I do before bedtime is go into a state of mindfulness where I am thoughtful about wanting to go to sleep. I close my eyes. I think of the day. I am grateful for all the things I did well during the day. I pray. I say all those things that maybe, help me during the day. And I offer that to you. Whatever you need during the day for that mindfulness, to bring it all together. Rather, I'm not talking about worry. It's not, let me think about all the things I need to do. That gets pushed away when you're mindful. Let me think about all the things that went well. Let me think about all the things that I'm grateful for. Let me be thankful for everything in my life that has gone well, that I hope to go well tomorrow, and that I look for a better day. Today may have been a great day, but I can also look for a better day tomorrow. And just put those practices in your sleep routine where the lights are down, the room is cool, it's quiet, there's no interruptions, no electronics, just you, peaceful sleep, some essential oils to diffuse during the night, and a mind that is grateful. And you're going to find you'll have better sleep if you can get there. It may not happen one night, but it's a practice like everything else. You don't become a world-class athlete by one exercise or by going to the gym once or anything one time. One time only is the beginning. You need to build on it. You need to make it a routine. You need to make it a habit. So make restorative sleep a habit. And again, I encourage you to share this video with others and share this resource I'm going to put in the chat box for you. Good morning, Tom. Just want to say hi. I'm putting in this resource that I encourage you to go out and download, learn more about how to get restorative sleep and how important sleep is as a regular part of our life. So until next time, I wish you a good night's sleep. When I see you next week, I hope you all can tell me that you've had a great night's sleep all week and what you've done to make it a more positive way of sleeping. After you've shared this with others, encourage them to leave messages, or you can leave a message for me in the chat box. What you do to have a good night's sleep, what things you eat, what practices you go through, what oils you use to make it a restful night. Maybe you diffuse a different oil than I do. For me, serenity is the thing because the word says it all. I feel serene. There's going to be a good night of that and no more head on the desk. So thank you again for joining me this morning. Download the resource and please share with others because it always makes it better when we share the good things in life. And until next time, be well.